up, everybody? We finally made it. I know. That was rough for a second, but thank you. Thank you for sticking around. Let's get the show on the road. This is the Early Edge in 5, powered by SportsLine. I'm Grace Remington. Please, if you haven't lost your patience too much, like this video and subscribe to the channel. We're going to bring the guys in here already, right away. All right? We got Frickin' Frack and Mike Barner. Guys, we were trying to figure out before the show what was going to be our reasoning, because tech difficulties is boring. Why are we late? I think the chat figured it out. Specty was doing his hair, and EC had to go grab his undershirt. That's what happened.
But see, Grace, I finished last week 4-1 on Thursday and Friday in baseball picks, so I had to get the undershirt on last second, right?
Yes, absolutely. That was the agreement we came to.
Yeah.
I mean, I was 4-0 the entire week, and so my hair's perfect, just like my record last week.
All right, we're ready to go, and we're looking good. This is great, guys. Specty, you're starting us off with the Women's World Cup and giving us a little education today on how to Asian handicap some of these games. So please go ahead.
Yeah, we're going to go with South Korea and Colombia over 1.75 goals at -135. What that means is that we are betting on half of our bet on over 1.5 goals and then over 2 goals at -135 on each one of those sides. Now, the reason you do that, if we were to go to 1.5 as a line, 1.5 goals at -175, if you bet $100 and you win that bet, you win $157. Our model has that at an 80% chance, meaning your expected payout there is $125. Now, if we go to the 1.75 goal line, we can end in either 2 goals where we push on half of our bet and win the other half, or greater than 2. If we push on the 2 goals, you get $137. We have a 22% chance of that happening, meaning $30 expected payout, or greater than 2, you win $175, and we have that 57% chance, which is a $100 payout. You add those two together, you have $130. So on the 1.5 line, your expected payout is $125. On the 1.75, our expected payout is $130. Only a $5 difference, but you think you only bet 100, that's 5% right there. That's the way we do it.
My head is exploding, Grace. I don't even know what he just said, but it sounds good.
I was
to
about
make more
to say,
money.
You get all that? You taking notes?
Yeah. I'm a visual learner.
Why it's all about the expected payout, and we got $5 more by doing it this way than by just betting the juiced up.
I'm good with that. More money. But I need a chalkboard next time. Please write it down because need to see it.
They don't teach that in simple math at EC University.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm throughout the World Cup, I'm just going to be going back to this episode and replaying that segment right there. All right, thanks, Specty. We also got some baseball games to get to. Mike Barner, I'm going to let you lead us off here.
Yeah, I'm not going to go complicated like Specty just did. I'm going to try and make this simple because my head is still spinning like EC's. So first we'll do the Mariners-Twins game. Let's do Luis Castillo over 6.5 strikeouts at -148. He just faced the Twins in his last start. He had 11 strikeouts in 6 innings. That marked the 3rd time in his last 10 starts that Castillo's had at least 10 strikeouts in a game. The Twins have struck out by far the most times in baseball. I think Castillo pitches deep into this game and cruises past the over 6.5 strikeouts. Then we'll go to the Diamondbacks and Cardinals. We're going to do Diamondbacks over 5 runs for the team total at -113. The big reason why I like this, Adam Wainwright is being activated for the Cardinals. He looks toast. In his last 3 starts before he went on the IL, he gave up at least 6 runs in each of them. He has a 7.66 ERA for the season. His whip is just under 2. The Diamondbacks rank inside the top 10 in baseball in both OPS and runs scored. So we do have to worry a little bit about them being the home team, so they might not bat in the bottom of the 9th. But I still like this too much with Wainwright on the mound not to take the over.
Okay, Mike. Yeah. I was so close to betting the Castillo strikeout line today. So my model has the over. My pick is actually a fade of Castillo, but there is a world where both of our bets can win. So let me just say that there. It is not a showdown. We are just simply on opposite sides, and we're both going to win. But I have the Twins first 5 over 1.5 runs at -135. The thing about Luis Castillo is he has the benefit of pitching in Seattle, which is one of the best pitchers' ballparks. His last 5 starts were at T-Mobile, and then he had 1 in a dome at Houston. He hasn't pitched outdoors away from home since June 21st. That's over a month. Now he's facing a negative park shift going to Minnesota, where Target Field favors left-handed hitters. Now with the weather today, it'll be a top 5 ballpark for the left-handed hitters. And Castillo's already vulnerable against left-handed hitters. There's 6 projected in this lineup today. Then you look at the difference in Castillo's splits. Home in Seattle against lefties, his opponents have a weighted on-base average of 278. On the road, that jumps to 402. And besides that, Minnesota has been a top 10 offense. They do strike out a lot. But they've been a top 10 offense against right-handed pitching since the start of June with a weighted runs created plus of 111. So that's the Twins' first 5 team total over 1.5 runs. Not challenging Mike Barner to a showdown because we're both going to win this somehow. Just making that clear. But okay, EC, you got a couple props for us. Where are we going?
Yeah, Grace, I'm still trying to figure out on my notes here what Spectre was. I wrote some things down. It's just, I feel like I'm back in college. Don't understand what my notes say. But hey, just trust him because he's a heck of a lot smarter than I am. All right, so let's start with Keibert Ruiz of the Washington Nationals over 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs at minus 125. So he's on an 8-game hitting streak and hitting 11 of 24 since the All-Star break. He's over this number in 6 of those 8 games. And last year against Rockies pitching, he was 7 of 17. Hitting in the middle of the order in a high-scoring game, which I believe it will be. I'm rolling with Keibert Ruiz to get a hit or 2 and maybe an RBI at minus 125. And then let's go to Freddie Freeman over 1.5 total bases at plus 105. Got this one on DraftKings, but if you go to FanDuel, for example, the 2+ bases is like minus 125. So go look at DraftKings first. So he's facing Jose Barrios, whose ERA is 1 run higher on the road, and who's a lot worse, like 2.5 points higher when he pitches at night, which is just a night game in LA, obviously, and a big time difference there. Freddie Freeman, 1 for 3 with a home run against him. He has 5 multi-hit games in his last 6, and he's 14 of 24 in the last week. I think he's going to get us multiple hits, and he may even get a double to cover this. He has 30-some doubles this year, which is crazy. I think Freddie Freeman hits this one. This is my pick I like the most. I also love what Mikey B said about fading Adam Wainwright. Problem is the bets that I wanted to make weren't available on DraftKings yet. The hits given up by Wainwright, the earned runs, and maybe the combined hits in the D-backs Cardinals game. So look at those later on. But for now, we'll just stick with 2 plays, Grace.
Yeah, that D-backs game was down for a long time today, so I'm glad we finally found a way to fade Waino there. I think it was Tim Stone in the chat at the top of the show asked for some O's bets because he's going to the game tonight, and I wanted to add some just because we're late, some bonus bets here. If you watched HQ earlier today, you saw Larry Hartstein. He has Bryson Stott going over 1.5 total bases, and then I'm on the O's first 5 run line. It's half a run. So tie game, we win the bet there. So there you go. 2 bonus bets. Before we get to the recap, producer Jake, I don't know if you can put this graphic up for us. The Early Edge is a nominee for the Best Sports Podcast category in the People's Choice Podcast Awards. You guys have heard us talk about this. And it's because of you here supporting us. So there we go. If you could nominate us, we would really appreciate it. Go to podcastawards.com/app/sign up. Scroll down to the sports category. It takes less than a minute. The link is included at the top of the episode description. Again, that's podcastawards.com/app/sign up. Let's get to the recap screen now, folks. We are starting with, if it's coming up, there we go. EC is on Keibert Ruiz over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. You can find that in the Rockies, Nats. Freddie Freeman over 1.5 total bases in the Blue Jays, Dodgers. Specty taking us to the World Cup with South Korea, Colombia over 1.7. How do I say that, Specty? 1.75 goals? Is that how you say it?
Yep.
Okay. He also gave us a lesson in math. So go back, rewind, listen to that again. I'm on the Twins first 5 team total over 1.5, and Mikey B is on Luis Castillo over 6.5 strikeouts. That's in the Mariners Twins, and the D-backs team total over 5. All right, that's going to do it for us on this episode of the Early Edge in 5. We will be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. This crew is back at 4 o'clock. Remember, you can always find the rest of our Early Edge cappers on HQ at the 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock. p.m. Eastern hours. That streams on cbssports.com/live, the CBS Sports app, or Paramount Plus. For Specty, EC, and Mikey B, I'm Grace Remington. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the pay window.